welcome back. If you're new around here, then hi, nice to meet you. And if you are returning, thank you very fucking much for coming back. You may have already seen the start of this video, part one of this video, that may be the better way to fucking put it. Basically, this is my 2020 roundup. I usually do a roundup every single month, just to things like I like, I don't like, things that were shite, things that were good. And this is my yearly roundup. So I've already done my skincare one, and this one is going to be my makeup one. For anybody coming who's never been here before, hello, my name is Alana. I am a Scottish lady who is in her 30s, and I like to just ramble quite a lot of shit about makeups, skincares, the odd vlog, things like that. So if you haven't been here before, then hello, nice to meet you. I am a bit of a sweary beastie, I can't help it, I'm really sorry, it just kind of rolls off the tongue when you're Scottish. And when you've been brought up in a household where you just basically say fuck off across the table to each other, but it's the term of endearment, that's the way things roll. So if you don't like the words fuck, bugger or shite, this might not be the place for you. But otherwise, if you're into that kind of thing and you don't really mind the odd sweary word, then that's absolutely fine. Please stick about. There's a little button down there that you can subscribe if you fancy. If not, trot on, it's fine. Also, usually I would tell you to get a coffee, a cocktail, whatever the fuck you want. But today I've just got good old diluting juice. It's nothing that fancy. Diluting juice, what would you call it in America? I don't even know. I don't think Kool-Aid's the same thing. I know for a fact that in England they call it squash. I don't call it squash, it's just called diluting juice here. Kunsel juice. Well, maybe not kunsel juice is water. And it's the thing that you put in water. I don't know, what do you call that in other countries? I have no idea. That's what I've got today, because simply I've already had like 3 coffees today. And I'm a bit like that, so I'm not having another one. Although, I do still have chocolate sitting next to me because, you know, it's Christmas and we're pies and who gives a fuck? Just eating constantly. I am now a big wheel of cheese and chocolate all rolled into one. Fuck it. Anyway, as I said, this video is going to be my 2020 roundup favourites of all my cosmetics, like makeup things. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then just keep on watching. Right, okay, well, let's get started. So I'm going to start off in the order of the way I've probably put things on my face. There is a lot here, so I'm going to try and get through it super duper quick. I also have written down the things that I wanted to speak about, because if I don't, I'm just going to go off on a tangent. You know what I'm like. Let's start off with primers. Now, this one, I mean, you could argue I put Future Dew into my skincare one, and you could argue that this is very similar, I feel. This is the Beauty Pie All in Wonder Illuminating Primer. Now, I have also used the Laura Mercier primer. I've also really loved, I think last year in my 2019 makeup favourites, I included the Kiehl's All Aglow, not All Aglow, talk shite, the Glow formula, Kiehl's Glow formula. Now, this is kind of in that realm. It's a very similar product. So it is a primer, but it also has a little bit of coverage, the tiniest amount, but it's pretty much like this illuminating glow primer, which once you actually start to rub it out in your hand, there's very little tint to it. But this mixed along with Future Dew, mixed along with Laura Mercier primer, the Glow formula, all these kind of things are much of a muchness to me, and this one is in Nude Glow. I think it's very, very nice. I absolutely would just wear that on its own with a little bit of concealer on the top, and it's been something I've been really enjoying. But I think I only picked this up in October-ish, I want to say, so it is a kind of late to the party one. So we're going to go with my favourite kind of other base, which is the number 7 Hydra Luminous. I fucking love it, what can I say to you? It's my favourite. So this is the one that has SPF of 15 in it. It is a medium coverage, it would say. I would say it's a little bit more of a tinted moisturiser. It's definitely got more than this, but not like a full coverage. It's not full coverage at all. This is something that I would wear of an evening out though. It makes me feel very comfortable. It's very much like I've got nothing on my skin, but it evens out my skin tone and leaves a little luminosity to my skin. I know a lot of people who are similar to my age group, but also of a similar kind of skin type to me. I've got kind of more dry skin, and although I'm, you know, only 30, going to be 34 next month, guys. Getting into the mid-30s. Fuck, how did that happen? I don't know. But because of my age, I feel like this is very, very flattering. And I have friends in real life who also feel the same about this, that it's a very flattering foundation. It's not too cakey, it's not too heavy, it's not sinking into all the fine lines and wrinkles. So that's the reason I really love this, and this is the second year running that this has been my favourites. Is it second or third? I'll say second for definite, but I can't remember if it's third. But these two, base-wise, absolute favourites. Glossier Stretch Concealer. It is my one, my only, my go-to. It's the thing I use all the time. This is my third pot of it, I want to say, and I'm making a really nice dent in it, and I've already bought a backup of it. It's my favourite. I use G11, which I think used to be light, because that's what they advised when they changed their colours, and I've kind of stuck to it, and it's my favourite. So, absolute favourite, would not do without it. It's probably one of my desert island products. I wouldn't want to be without it. Next up in the complexion range, okay, so last year I think for bronzers I said Hoola was my favourite. Hoola is still an absolute contender. It's a golden oldie, everybody knows it. This is NARS Laguna. This is actually a miniature, and to be honest with you, this miniature will last me forever. It's going to last me ages. Bronzer isn't something that I feel the need to wear every single day. In the summer I probably do wear it every single day, but even at that, a powder bronzer is not something that I get through terribly quickly. So I just bought the miniature, and I'm sure that will last me a very long time. But through the start of the year, this was probably when I was reaching for the most. I say that and then I'm like, I got it in August. Was it as late as August? Maybe it was a bit earlier than that. I feel like I picked this up. Oh, do you know what it was? I got the Fenty one. That was not a favourite. I don't know. Whenever I got it, this was probably the one I was wearing most, or it would have been Hoola. But we all heard about Hoola last year, so we're talking about something different. Now this one, you know, only came into my possession at tail end of last year, like November-ish or something like that. And this is the bronzing from the Body Shop Drops of Sun. It used to be called Honey Bronze. I am certain this is the same product, just repackaged slightly in a glass bottle. It's beautiful. It's exactly what I need from a bronzer, and it goes the exact colour that I would go. That slightly, just slightly overcooked pork, like you're just going a nice tinge of pink brown. It does that for me, and that's what I look for in a bronzer. I know a lot of people will be like, why on earth? But I would definitely go more red brown than I ever am going to go olive brown. So this does that for me very, very nicely. Not tango orange, but definitely a kind of more like ruddy brown, because that is absolutely my cheeks. Everything pink, bright pink, lobster, you know. So that is absolutely the colour I would go. I do take a tan, and I always wear my SPF of 50, but I'm always going to go that slightly flushed colour before I would ever go tan. Alan, on the other hand, he just looks at the sun and he is like bronzed Adonis. Maybe not Adonis, he's I think he would dispute that at the moment, because we are both just like full of cheese at the moment, but he does, he just looks at the sun and he goes so brown, whereas I'm a little bit more pink, then brown eventually. Continuing with complexion, again, I am going to put in the Glossier Cloud Paints again. I don't have one to hand at the moment because I'm going to be honest with you, I can't be arsed going over to that drawer to get one. I'm just going to tell you about it because you know I have spoken about them a million times. The Glossier Cloud Paints are some of my favourite cream blushes. Cream blushes in general are some of my favourites. But I did speak about them last year quite a lot, and I did say they were my favourite last year. I've got a whole video up here of Glossier dupes, Glossier Cloud Paint things that are very like it, blah blah blah, up here. Check it out if you like. What I wanted to talk to you about were things that I've either discovered this year that are a little bit new, things that I know are going to be future favourites and have been since I picked them up this year. So first of all, I want to talk about the Beauty Pie Super Cheek Blushes, and this is one in French Raspberry. Now the other product that I'm going to speak about is in a very, very similar colour. This is the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush colours. Now these aren't necessarily just blushers, these are all over colours that you can put anywhere in your face, anywhere in your body if you like, to be honest with you. Lips, cheeks, eyes, etc. But these two are definitely things that came into my possession over this year and I adore. This one in particular, so I have this one in Black Cherry and Ballet Slippers. Ballet Slippers is the one I've got on my cheeks today. These are wonderful, and I have to be honest with you, I'm going to investigate a little bit more because I know they do these in like a slightly sparkly thing as well, like so you could use them as an eyeshadow or a highlight as well, so I need to go and investigate them. But these Beauty Pie ones are very, very nice as well. Obviously I've discussed before the fact that I'm maybe not going to remain subscribed to Beauty Pie, but I imagine this is going to last a very, very long time. And the colour is something that I absolutely adore. They're very, very similar in colour, these two, but these are the types of things I adore. In the summertime, I do prefer a little bit more of a coral tint, a little bit more of an orangey tint. For that reason, I would probably go to the likes of the MUA brushes, The MUA blushes that I spoke about, they were really nice, but something in a slightly more coral tinge. But the long and short of it is, I love a cream blush, and I love to just kind of go from coral to berry to tan. That's about it. The odd pink one as well, but these, I'm definitely going to look at more of these because I think they're amazing, and these were very nice as well. Moving on to eyes. In my 2018 favourites, I spoke about pencil eyeshadows as such, loads, and I've kind of fell back into that this year, especially throughout the start of the year and throughout the summer. So obviously Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks, love, but I also want to give a nod to the Beauty Pie ones because these are really good dupes for this. I have On Taupe and Choco. I really like them. I think they're really nice, and again, they do lots of different colours, so you don't have to just stick to matte colours. The two I have are matte, but you can get them in like a kind of sheen, a sparkle, a glimmer, a shimmer, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but they are very good dupes for them. And these I spoke about a couple of years ago as well, and again, I've had this for a couple of years and it's absolutely fine. It's not gonna, like, I don't know, maybe my eye will break out if I put it on, I don't know, but it's not caused me any problems. And these are from Kiko, and the number I've got here is 48, which is like a real deep khaki green colour. Love it, adore it. And these, again, very good dupes for the Laura Mercier one. So if you can't get your hands on the Laura Mercier, or you think that's just a little bit too expensive, Elf as well also do one, but this kind of sweep it on the lid and go type style of thing, loved at the start of the year and have continued to use. When I'm coming on here to film and stuff, it's generally not something that I would use because I like to put a little bit more effort if I'm coming to film, but during the summer months, straight on the eye and off I go, just a bit smooshing in, even with your fingers. Love it. Okay, so eyebrows. It's going to be the same as last year. I'm either going to tell you boy brow or wow brow. They are both amazing. I think they're fantastic. Boy brow, I do have a new one of these because again, ordered it in the Glossier sale, but what I will say is if you're not ordering from Glossier, I don't think there's a need for you to run to get boy brow. Now that might be different for people who maybe have thinner or paler brows than me. Maybe somebody who has got a really pale or blonde brow feels like this is the one, but for me personally, who has thicker, darker brows, Wow Brow from Elf is just as good and a fraction of the cost, and you can pick it up in store. So if you're going to pick one, this one I would say go for, but if you're going to order from Glossier, then by all means pick up one of these. Right, mascara. Let's do mascara, then I'll do palettes and highlighters and then lip stuff, because I told you this is, it's going to be a lot. So I am not committed to any one mascara, but what I am going to say is this year I found that there was particularly a couple that I kept reaching for, and one, I mean, for instance, I've got this one on today that I feel like is now my night out mascara. Night out, where the fuck have we been going? Nowhere, but you know. So this is NARS Climax. Now I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about this, a lot of people being like, you know, what is it, shit. And I'm kind of like, I picked this up for a lot less than the full price of it, so if I could pick it up for that, then again I would. And I really like the effect on my lashes. I think it gives me a lot of volume, a lot of impact, and I really like it. What I will say is though, it does drop down. There is fall down, it does happen. Part of me doesn't really mind though, because especially if I'm wearing like an eye like today, I don't mind if it gets a little smooshed under here. But that's because I'm a little smoky. I like that, little smoky rock chick, you know. If my mascara or my eyeliner ends up down here, I just rub it in. That's me, that's what I do. Now I know that's not for everybody, but I'm just a messy bitch like that, what can I say? So NARS Climax is definitely one of the ones that I have consistently been reaching for if I've got somewhere to go. Where have I had to go this year? Nowhere. But if I'm maybe filming or something, then I put NARS Climax on. If I was going to work, this is absolutely not what I would have worn, because although I like that rock chick look, if I'm at work, I don't want to look like some old goth that's dying and needs a good sleep. I want to look quite fresh and bright, and I don't want to look like I'm knackered, to be honest with you. So not what I would wear to work. But what I did discover this year, and this is a brand new one because I picked up another one, was Lash Slick from Glossier. Again, might be a kind of unpopular opinion here, but I really like this. For me personally, from my point of view, wearing mascara to work, I want it to be as natural as possible. If I had a lash lift, which I've not been able to do this year, I think I maybe got one done back in February or March, and that was the last time I was able to do it because obviously we've not been able to do anything. So if I had had a lash lift, then I probably wouldn't even bother with mascara at work at all. But this almost gives me that effect. Like, it just lifts the lashes, but it still looks like my lashes. It doesn't look like there's anything on the lashes, and that's why I really like it. And I don't find it's got that fall down thing going on. It really doesn't. I think it's a tubing mascara. I want to say it's a tubing mascara, and I think it's really, really good. Easy, quick, natural looking for work. So that is why I've picked up another one of these. If anybody knows a dupe for Lash Slick that I could get at Boots or something, please let me know, because it's not something I've terribly investigated, but equally, if I could get it cheaper for what it is, wonderful, please tell me. Alright, so highlighters. I am going to put the Burt's Bees All Glow Stick in again. Was my favourite last year, it is a favourite this year again, and I would say probably again up until a point this year was the only thing that was on my face. I love it, I love the dewiness of it. Very, very close dupe for Glossy Halo Scope, but I prefer this one. I think this one is more emollient, more oily looking on the skin. If that's not for you, that's fine, but I adore it. I think it's so, so nice, and this is the third one of these I've bought, I want to say, over the last couple of years. I really, really like it, absolute favourite. But again, I discovered this later in the year, and I discovered this later in the, this later in the year. So this is the Beauty Pie Triple Beauty Luminizing Wand. I think this is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury ones, and what I'm going to say is it's what I've got on today. It's glorious. It's so, so nice. It is that like lit from within. Yeah, it does look a little glossy on my skin. I do have an illuminizing base on, you know, I'm a shiny git basically. But this, however, is the Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm, and this is just a clear wet balm. I know, again, unpopular opinion, not going to be for everybody, but personally, I fucking love it. This basically is just a clear balm, just makes your face shiny. Can you see that? And I know anybody who's got oily skin will be like, that sounds like hell in a pan, but for me personally, I think it's wonderful. And as we go into spring and summer, I think this summer this will probably be what's on my face consistently. If you're full blown, love my face looking like a chip pan, a little bit like me, absolutely go with this. And they do this, I hate when I say things like that. They do have this in lots of different colours as well, and Danessa Myricks, again, something I need to look into more, and I'm hoping that Algorithm are going to start stocking the other colours of the Dew Wet Balm. But what I have been doing recently is taking this on the finger and mixing it sometimes with certain other, whether it's been a shimmery gold eyeshadow or whether it's been an iridescent pink shadow, something like that. I've been mixing it in on the fingers and then dabbing it across the tops of my cheeks, because during the Christmas month there's been a lot more kind of sparkle going on, and it works really well for that too, and I think it is lovely. And I just want to give a little nod to this one as well. This is the Mars Melter from Kaleidos. Now, this is full on, and I would say this is a slightly little bit more of a blush for me because it is super duper peachy pinky. But Christmas Day this year, and I took this into work and I was like, look at the sparkle on the face, and I kid you not, pretty much every female in my work was like, what have you got on your cheeks? Can I have some? One of the girls that I work with, actually, Rachel, was like, I'm going to order that right now. And I was like, well, why don't you have a look and see what else they do, Kaleidos? I was like, you can get discounts, it's coming from China, you may as well order a few things. She was like, no, I'm doing it now, that's what I want. Just ordered it right then and there. And I was kind of like, okay, fine, clearly you like this. There is obviously the Space Age Prophecy highlighter as well, which is crazy biscuits, absolutely crazy. But I find this one a lot more wearable for lots of different, like, everyday kind of wear. It is pinky, but it still just has this really pretty look on the tops of the cheeks, whereas the Space Age Prophecy is like a little bit more festival, a little bit more concert kind of thing I would wear. It's not something I would wear every day, whereas this one is a lot more kind of everyday wearable. Even when you see it like this, it is a lot more friendly, user friendly, that's what I mean. Not that you're friendly, you are quite friendly. Hi guy. But you know what I mean, it's a lot more user friendly, and I think this is beautiful, so nice. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to palettes. Now, I think at the start of this year I was probably much more into the pencils type thing. I didn't really mention palettes too much, or I was using my Urban Decay Petite Heat palette. an absolute favourite, one that I still use consistently. One that if you had to ask me would probably be a little bit of a desert island product, because I feel it's just so easily worn. It's very, I can go from completely neutral looking like I've nothing on the lid to being super duper smoky but warm toned. That's kind of your option. You don't really have an in between. It's never going to be a cool toned eyeshadow palette, but for me and my colouring it works really well. So I think I was still using that a lot of the time, and I still do reach for it. But towards middle of the end of this year, I did start finding a lot more indie brands and other like maybe more luxury brands that I hadn't used before. So I'm going to talk to you about them rather than the Petite Heat, because I spoke about it for the last 2 years. But first of all, I picked up the Ace Beauty Vintage Dawn. Vintage? It's gone to shit. It's because I'm talking so fast trying to get through all this, and then all of a sudden my tongue's like, blah, 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 blah. Like, where did you go? So this is the Vintage Dawn palette from Ace Beauty. It's glorious. It's absolutely gorgeous. The reason I'm mentioning this one is because it is something that I have consistently had on my, what do you call it, dressing table? What do you call that, a vanity? Is that what people say? A dressing table. And I have reached for it throughout the year. And I have throughout the year, since I got it in like August or something, I've reached for it. I find that it's very transferable. It's got greens in here, I love greens. It's got oranges, I love warm tones. And it's got yellows. So as we come into spring and summer, I think these are going to be a lot more wearable. I actually did do a kind of more mustard autumnal look over on my Instagram recently, and I used quite a lot of the yellows and oranges that were in here, yellows and browns I should say, that are in here. The only two colours that I have not used quite so much are the two blues, and I think I need to kind of utilise, that's just a fear thing. I'm just a little bit like, how am I going to integrate them? But I have seen people using these and doing some stunning looks with them. But this is a gorgeous palette. It's just a very safe palette for me personally. It might look really bright, but it's almost like a muted paint box, I have to be honest with you, and the tones of it are all very, very up my street. So I have reached for this over and over and over since I got it, even though I've probably not spoke about it on my channel too much, but even if I'm just like, oh, what am I going to put on today, I reach for this and I always come out with something that I really like. So I cannot say enough about this palette. It's very, very pretty. Next up are the e.l.f. Bite Size palettes. I did actually see, was it Kelly? Kelly was doing a overhyped video, like, are these things overhyped or are they not? And I've seen loads of people speak about these. I've seen Teresa speak about these, I've seen Angelica Nyquist speak about these, I've seen lots of people speak about these, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think these are fucking fabulous. I think they're fucking amazing. Now I do have the pumpkin pie one on today, that is what is on my eyes at the moment, and I have worn the green one till I'm dead basically. I think it's fucking amazing. I can't even tell you, these are £3. £3. I have also seen Michaela McDade speak about them, but she spoke, oh, got fluffy up my nose, sorry. Excuse me, classy as ever. I have seen Michaela McDade speak about these, but she was speaking more about the cookies and cream one, like the more neutral toned one, and I think, what was the other one? There was two that I thought were dead similar. So there's like a blue one, this one, pumpkin pie, there's like a rosy one, I think there's a purpley one. Like there's loads of them, and don't get me wrong, see, £3, I could have fucking bought every single one of them. But I was restrained and kind of like, what ones will I use the most? Probably the warm tone and probably the green. The green one is beautiful, like I can't even tell you. I'm sure a couple of Watch New videos ago, maybe my November Watch New video, I wore it in that one, and I'm sure I wore it in my eyeshadow palette tag, and I almost dropped it and nearly broke it there. Fuck me, that was close. So in my eyeshadow palette tag, I'm sure I've got it on in this as well, and I have just, it's so quick to reach for it, and I'm like, do you know what, okay, there's only 4 colours, I can get a look, I can get a look in 2 seconds with this. So I feel like these are brilliant, because although we're not doing a lot of travelling this year, if I needed to go somewhere, 2 of them in my bag, that's me. Even if I did buy the more neutral one, if I had that and then took a colour, like a pop of colour one with me, that's me, like that's it. Like they're so cute. I kind of wish they were clippable together or like stackable together somehow, something like that. I don't know, but £3 fucking. Now would I pay €13 for a 4? No, I wouldn't pay that for it. But given that you could get, what's that, you could get 3 of these for €13, because 369, yeah, because 369, you can actually get 4 of them. You can actually see, that just goes to show you how good my math is. sorry. But you could actually almost pretty much get 4 of these. You all know I'm really shit at maths, sorry. Is that right? 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, so you could actually buy 4 of these in my country, in Scotland, for the price of 1 in Angelica's country. So I get where she's coming from. Like, I don't think it's worth 1 of them, but absolutely for £3 I think the quality of these and the kind of variation, and they're just super cute, and I think they're amazing. Very, very nice. Now, 2 more palettes that kind of came into my possession later on in the year. This one here, which is the Celestial Divinity palette from Pat McGrath. I think it's amazing. I'm not going to dispute it. I did say ages ago, like, I'll do a roundup video on it telling you of all the looks that I've managed to create with it. I actually have all the looks filmed, I just haven't enough time to do it. I'm really sorry. If you do want to see that, let me know. But basically, I think this is so much fun. Now, I seen Teresa's dead speaking about this, and I felt she was a little harsh on it. I was like, but then I am not a Pat McGrath eyeshadow connoisseur. I'm not at all. This was my first delve into Pat McGrath, and I'm going to tell you right now, these are fantastic. Like, I think the quality, for the amount they cost, for the amount you get, you're never going to get through all of those eyeshadows. Absolutely no way. The thing is, it does leave most shadows or most eyeshadow looks a little pink. I am going to say that. It's difficult to start getting variations, especially when you're using like the greens and the golds, when the matte colours are only really berries and pink colours. That kind of annoyed me a little. But let me put it this way, this isn't something that I would be picking up and just only putting this on my face. I would be sitting with other stuff at my dressing table, looking at other things and using some of these as toppers and accents, making this kind of my paint box into the colour of the look. And I think for that reason, this is fabulous. If you haven't picked this up, if it's still available, and it might have a discount on it at the moment, and you're kind of thinking where to start with Pat McGrath, I think this was a fantastic start to Pat McGrath. And obviously since then I've went on to purchase more. And I have to say, like, given the price of this and what you get and how much is in it, I think this was better value for money than some of the motherships. I'm not gonna lie. The mothership palette is beautiful. The shadows are gorgeous. If it's not up already, there will be a video coming. If it's up already, I'll put it up here. The mothership palette is beautiful, but the colour story in it is a little odd. I don't really know how you get them to play together. So kind of similar to this, like, yes, there's colours in here that I can complete a whole look with, but every now and again I have to pick out other palettes just to get them to play together. Now, considering this one cost me £60, I don't mind that. But if I paid a full £120 or £130 for a palette that I feel I wouldn't really know what other colours I could do other than green or gold, or it's just an odd colour story, I'm not that overly enamoured with the big mothership palettes. I'd maybe feel a little bit different if I picked up the bronze one or kind of more of the neutral ones, but certainly the Mothership 2, which is like that beautiful emerald green, and you get that gorgeous dark dusky, almost grungy type look from it. But can I create a really light look with that palette? Yeah, but is it going to have the same impact that I can't get from other palettes that I've got? Oh Jesus. I just think this personally is so worth it, the money, the quality, what you're getting. You're getting a really good taster into Pat McGrath. It's amazing. And finally, I wanted to talk about Kaleidos. Now, I'm pretty much talking about these as a brand as a whole, not necessarily this palette on its own, although this palette is gorgeous. So this is the Cyber Bronze palette, I want to say, and it's beautiful. It's so pretty. So this one I've probably reached for a little bit more, especially at this time of year. It's certainly not a neutral palette by any means, but now that I own this one, and I also own the Electro Turquoise, I want to say, I absolutely will go back and look at some of the other Futurism palettes. I think I would probably pick up a more neutral one that I could use every day, maybe one with a little bit of a rosy undertone or something that I know I'm going to get use out of all year round, because these shadows are fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. And like I said, this is absolutely gorgeous too. Kaleidos as a brand, I am so overwhelmed and just like, wow, I'm so glad I tried them. They are so beautiful. Alright, so let's talk lips. I don't think I could mention lip products without mentioning Gloss My Heart. This little brand, I found this little brand, and this year they have just won my heart. They do kits where you can make your own lip glosses, but their lip pencils are absolutely where it's at. They are some of my favourite lip pencils. They are very, very good for colouring in the whole lip and smudging it out, making that kind of blurred lip, but also great for like a backing on lipsticks if you need one. Also really good for like a really sharp outline. They're just fucking so good. So good. I now own like 7 or something of them, and I just think they are amazing. A lot of the time I will wear, is it number 14 I think, it's that kind of neutral colour, and what I will wear that alongside. Number 14 and number 7 coincide with these two lipsticks really well. Another couple of lipsticks that I have loved this year, this is the Glossier Generation G in Zip and Cake. So Cake is like a really, really neutral, almost like orangey nude, but very, very sheer. It's not an orangey nude like I've got on the now. And Zip is like a really beautiful poppy red colour. It's really, really bright red, but again, kind of sheer, so it works really well with that number 7 from Gloss My Heart. Also, I wanted to mention these from Beauty Pie. These are their matte lip pencils, I want to say. I can't remember if they're called matte lip crayons or velvet lip crayons. And I have got Guilty Girl and Caught Me, and again, these are two that I have just not stopped using since I got them. Probably, I think I got the first one during the summer and the other one I got maybe August or September, and I have not stopped. These have been on my lips constantly. Also, what's on my lips at the moment, although it's probably starting to dry out a little bit because I've been talking for some amount of time now. This is the MAC Powder Kiss in Devoted to Chili, and like you will actually see just how much of this I've used. Look, you can barely see it, it's like a little nubbin now. But I have used this constantly for the last couple of years, and the reason I'm including it in my 2020 favourites as well as my 2019 favourites is because I will continue. This is gorgeous, it's a favourite. It's one of these ones, again, I can kind of do a little bit of blurring with, and if I fancy, if I've got a little extra on my finger, sometimes I just do a little bit on the cheeks too, and it just kind of works for me. I don't know, it's rusty, rosy, orangey, just beautifulness, and I love it. Now, two latecomers to the party towards the end of the year were these two. So this is Pat McGrath, and the reason I want to include this is because of the colour, but it's also because it's just such a gorgeous lipstick. I can't remember what formula this is. Hold on and I'll tell you. This is one of the Luxe Trance ones, and this one is in 35mm, which is like this gorgeous, it's like a berry wine blood red. It's just stunning. It's so amazing. It's exactly the kind of deep, kind of vampy lipstick I like, and this one, as I say, is in the Luxe Trance, so I definitely would look into more on this version of a lipstick from Pat McGrath. And when you get them on offer and you're not having to pay 35 quid for them, even fucking better, mate. Even fucking better. And finally, Miss Jamie Genevieve, her beautiful, beautiful lipsticks from Vive. This is the one in Power Suit, so it's a real kind of burnt orange, chocolate orange. This that's on my lips now is definitely more, as I say, it's Devoted to Chili. A little bit more of a red orange. They are in a similar family, but this one is just a little bit more red. Let me just swatch them for you. They are slightly different textures as well. That's them there. So this one up here is Devoted to Chili, and this one here is the Power Suit from Jamie Genevieve. Definitely more brown in it. This one is much more of a kind of rusty terracotta orange, whereas this one is much more of a brown orange. They do have a different texture as well. This is the MAC Powder Kiss ones, the one that I've got on the now, so they're both matte, but this one I feel is a little softer. The Jamie Genevieve one can be a little bit, it's more of a satin matte, so it can start to dry a little bit. They both can start to dry a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because they're matte lipsticks. But you know what, it doesn't really fucking bother me, I don't mind. I love this one for a really blurred looking lip, whereas this one I will love for a little bit more of an impactful, beautiful brown chocolate orange lip. And I love the colour. I love this lipstick, it's so, so nice. As I've said before when I was talking about her in the first impressions of the Vive makeup line, if she brings out more colours in this range, then I will be all over it like a fucking rash, because I just think they're gorgeous. They're so nice, they're so sleek, very pretty, just beautiful. Smells like straight up cupcakes or something. It's like milk chocolate. No, white chocolate. White chocolate Milky Bar buttons. That's what it smells like, and I think it's just delightful. And with all that, that is everything. I've managed to get through everything. hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully, I want to know, have you picked anything up on my recommendations? Have you owned any of these? Did it not work for you? Did you not like it? Are some of them your favourites as well? Or were you thinking about picking any of them up and I have now solidified your thoughts on that? I don't know. Let me know, because I think a lot of people, especially with regards to, for instance, this, like people really didn't like this. I know for a fact people will not be into like the duet balm, but there'll be a lot of people out there that are as well. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Let me know what you're thinking and what were your 2020 favourites with regards to makeup. And with all that being said, and I'm going to leave it at that, I am going to go and have my dinner now, put my feet up because we're still in that crimble limbo at the moment when I film this. And that is about it for now. If you fancy, there's this little subscribe button here. Please feel free, if you wish, please leave a comment below. Please like, subscribe, all that bullshit. If you can be bothered, if you can be arsed, basically. And if you do, then that would be lovely. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you very, very much. And I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye.